Hey everyone, welcome back. Back to Melbourne with Marc and Candi.
One of the world's best Cher impersonators, Candi turns back time to talk about her amazing transformation. Hi Candi, how are you?
Good, Marc. How are you?
You look very beautiful today.
Well, thank you.
And I believe you weren't always a woman, you were once a boy.
Who told?
I heard it along the grapevine.
Oh, my secret is out. It's true.
Have you been living as a woman for many years?
I have. I started living probably full-time as a woman when I turned about 2021 and was full force after that. So as you can see, it was definitely a good idea.
So what was a pivotal moment for you in deciding to become a woman?
I probably can tell you that it started back when I was about 4 or 5. As a little kid when I was 4, I used to believe everybody is born a girl and the doctors decide whether you're going to be a boy or girl, and the doctors just pull it out. And I constantly kept trying to push it back in, but to no avail. So I had to pay a lot of money to get it pushed back in.
I bet you did. What was the process of becoming a woman?
I went through a phase where I thought I was gay. Because I definitely was attracted to men. Not all transsexuals are attracted to men. I went to my first gay bar and saw this girl. She was absolutely beautiful. And one of my friends said, "That's a man." And I went, and I just stared at her all night. And I told her, I said, "I'm just so in awe of you." And she sat down with me and we started talking, and everything she was telling me was how I was feeling inside, and I knew right then and there that this is the way I wanted to go, and that there actually was a place for me in this world. And so she told me about the doctors, and she told me about, that it's not an easy process. You do need to go through counseling. You do need to go through psychotherapy, hormone therapy with a doctor, and I did. And I started taking the hormones, and at 21, that's when I told my parents. I explained everything, and, my mom and I had a good cry, and she said, "Oh, you must have been hurting inside for so long." And I said, "No, I've never really been hurting, but you two cared about me through everything and loved me no matter what. I finally feel like I'm evolving and blossoming, into the person that I'm supposed to be."
So when they take your penis off, what happens to it?
Well, I've got it here in a jar. Here you go.
Thank you very much. I'll take it home with me and show my mum. Thank you.
No, I'm just kidding. They actually use all of it except for the testicles. I felt free, and I felt finally myself. I finally was the person I was meant to be.
After your sex change, what did you do?
Put in my application to be a flight attendant, and got an interview and got hired immediately. And they didn't know.
And did you enjoy that experience?
I loved it. I was a flight attendant for 15 years, and I loved it. It was the most fantastic job I ever had. I got to see places in the world that I probably never, ever would have gotten to go. I won't lie, I did make up for lost time. I sowed my wild oats. After that, I came to my senses. I got my heart broke several times when I finally told some of the guys. They're all still my friends. Not one of them ever bashed me. Not one of them ever said, "You freak" or anything. A lot of them said, "I can't believe it." And a girlfriend of mine who was a flight attendant with me said to me, "Why don't you put an ad on the internet? You could be completely honest and everything." And I said, "Are you kidding? I'll meet every freaking weirdo in the world." Not even thinking that anybody think I was one. I got an email from Australia. It said, "Hello from Australia." And we corresponded through email and talking on the phone for 8 months. And Matt came to visit me. It was the best way that I ever could have gotten to know somebody, because I found my soulmate. He proposed to me, and I started crying, and I said yes, and then we got married that December, and here I am.
It was interesting because we got to know a lot about each other just by, what we emailed each other and spoke on the phone. But then meeting each other for the first time, it was interesting because we felt like we both knew each other, but then we were learning a lot more about each other just being there physically. So it's not done all the time, I guess. So, but I've been in a very sort of creative environment most of my life, and most of the people that I associate with are fairly, broad-minded, and
And so what about before you met Candi? Were you ever actively pursuing relationships with transsexuals beforehand as well? Or was this a first-off decision?
What is the answer to that?
I sort of looked around, what was out there, trying to just find myself and just experimenting and just meeting lots of different people. And I'm very inspired by the many different types of people that are out there, and I get a lot of inspiration from the different colours of the world.
You know, I asked him, I said, why someone like me? And he said, you know, it doesn't matter what the person has between their legs. That's not what I'm looking for. It's the person inside that I fall in love with.
So what are you doing with yourself here now?
I was a Cher impersonator back home. It was something to do until I found a job. I just started doing Cher again when I came here, and it's taken off like crazy. Everybody back home really hones their craft. They really study the person they're doing. I don't look much like Cher out of my Cher makeup, but with the makeup and recontouring of my face and studying how she holds her face and her mouth, it comes together. And it's a whole package that I put together. And Australia seems to be embracing it. And, 15 years ago, somebody had told me, you're going to move to Australia and start doing drag again. I probably would have slapped him first and then started laughing, but here I am and I'm loving it.
And we're loving you too, Candi. We'll be right back.